Good morning and welcome to week number 8, and today is run number 36 for the Marathon Training Plan 2020, and we are doing a 7k tempo run. And as you know, I mentioned it last week, tempo runs are what I love just because I can let loose a little bit more. Now, I don't want to overdo it because this is 7k. Now, usually when I do, typically back in the day, going back before the plan, normally I would be doing my weekend runs and they are just to let loose and have fun. Now, they would occur doing my 5k route, which is my common one around here. And usually I would be doing that around my tempo pace, around 5:45, 5:30, sometimes even 5:05, right? And it really kind of depend on the day if I had different things that I wanted to just kind of express. If it was a long week, sometimes it would just be a bit of a mellow run. If it was, on the flip side, if it was a long week, sometimes I just want to get out and feel good. So this is why I like tempo runs. Now, 7k, it's a little bit more of a step. So this is where I really start to test my ability to flex that little bit more. And this is where we'll start to see the performance growth, and I'm excited to do it. So yeah. These are the shoes I'm wearing today, just the casual, just the casual New Balance ones, just my original pair, my main pair. Now, this week it is going to be very, very good. 1, because I'm running. 2, I've got some interesting content. I want to talk about a number of different topics, and I've been so motivated and encouraged by other people in the last week. But, you know, some of the things that I want to touch on is just talking about comparing ourselves to other people that are further on the timeline. I want to talk about some of the YouTube metrics, and there's been a lot of questions around that, but I figured let's chat about that in general. And I also want to talk about some of the hydration techniques, tips and tricks while running, planning for a marathon, all that, race day, etc. And also I want to get some insights on gels and I guess race day nutrition, or you know, nutrition for the longer runs as well. So a bit about that this week. For now, we're going to get out there, going to get this done, and hope you're coming with me. Otherwise, jump around in the timestamps, have a look around. There's plenty of different things there, as I've just mentioned, and yeah, let's get into it. All right, 3k in, averaging 5:40, getting a bit of a buffer up my sleeve, and still got a good 3.5 to go before it's brekkie time. 4k, averaging 5:41, ready to go. 5k in, averaging 5:37. Let's do this. Come on! Woohoo! 2k to go, baby. I'm psyched. Pumping myself up, pushing through. I got this. I got this. Come on. Let's go. All right, 6k in, averaging 5:35, bit too fast, but I got a little bit of a buffer. Woo, woo, woo. Let's go, go, go. Come on. Tempo done, no worries. 7k of pure push. And one thing I should note is, I think last week I ended up putting the range on there, right, to manage my pace, to give me warnings, to keep me honest. Whereas this time I decided to do it by feel, and I've probably done a bit faster, but I was pretty consistent. All right, so super happy with that. gonna let it sink, check out the stats, but I've pulled up all right. So, you know, after doing the 18.5 on Sunday, was definitely sore yesterday. Not sore, but you know, you could just feel my body had taken a beating. So I did do the stretching and the usual stuff just to, you know, ease it out. All right, let's check out the stats. There we go, 7:02 and a pace of 5:36. So absolutely smashing the time. And I wanted to maintain, I didn't want to drop below the pace target. And yeah, it was good. This whole run I was, well, not sorry, this is not a whole run. By the time I got, well, you would have seen it. I think it was around 5k in, 4k in, I started really, you know, giving myself the mental push. I was talking to myself and reminding myself that I've got this, psyching myself up and amping myself up, right? So, and I think this is a key thing that we forget to do, right? Is sometimes we get into a run and we get into a rut and we just, and we have a sulk, right? Whereas sometimes you just got to change your mindset, change your outlook on it, give yourself a bit of a, you know, tap on the back and say, hey mate, you got this, and push through, right? And it was funny, I wasn't listening to my audiobook, I was listening to music for the tempo run, and all I could think of was David Goggins and, you know, visioning what he had gone through and some of the stuff he talks to his book. And yeah, that stuff, it psychs you up. So that's my challenge for you today, is when you're doing these runs and things aren't going as planned, or you're really wanting to push, is vocalize it, you know, get vocal, speak it, talk to yourself, and you know, really put the mindset to it, because sometimes we go into these things half focus. And I've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks, is what's your intent of the run? And if you get that right, I think it makes all the difference. You know, obviously there's nutrition, there's hydration, and then there's your physical endurance at the point in time. But you know, these are all things that will help you push through. All right, well, I mean, that's today's run, and great way to start the week. And the first thing I just want to remind everyone today, and this is just a quick little food for thought, is don't compare yourself to other people that are further along the timeline. And this goes with anything in life, whether it's you know, where they are in terms of money, where they are in terms of success, where they are in terms of their running journey, where they are in terms of a business, where they are in terms of talent, passion, skill, whatever it is. When you look at someone else, and it's okay to look at someone else and learn from them and understand, what can I take from this, or, you know, be inspired and aspire to be like. But what happens is we look at someone and they've got 30 years behind them, and they're absolutely gunning it, they're smashing it, they're in their prime, they're, you know, there's nothing pulling them down, they're what you would define as successful. Now, you can't compare yourself to that person if you are just starting, right? We all start somewhere, and that's the beginning. And the beginning, for some people, it will be harder. For some people, it will be a little easier, because some things come natural. And that comes down to strengths, weaknesses. And I'm the first one to say this, is I get sometimes caught up, and I have been in the past a lot, at looking at what others have achieved, and, you know, one, yes, being inspired, but then becoming overwhelmed, frustrated, and I lose focus of what I'm trying to achieve, because I want to be here, right? And here doesn't exist in my mindset yet, because I physically cannot, or mentally cannot be there yet, because I haven't done the hard work, I haven't done the experience, right? It's these people make it look easy, but you know, there was a whole lot of stuff that went into it. And I know it's a bit cliche, but it's an important topic, because I think we all struggle with it. And especially on YouTube, we look around and we see how this person's doing that, or that person's doing this, and they're all better than me, or they've got more subs. And you know, some of it can be, you know, a bit of fun competitiveness, some of it can be jealousy, and some of it can be really, really bad, right? Because you get so focused and worked up in the numbers that it can drive you a little insane. Now, I'm not referring this to anyone, or I'm not trying to make a point to anyone either. What I'm trying to say is that regardless of whatever you're doing, just remember to give yourself some room to breathe, right? don't go set the expectation that you've got to be like this top-notch guy in whatever that market is, right? Or whatever that industry is, or whatever that niche is, right? You're starting from the start. Build your own. Use them to motivate you, to influence you, to give you ideas and learn from their mistakes. That's the good thing about these people that are successful, is you can see the whole journey to that point, and you can, you know, skip those mistakes they made and jump up and, you know, hopefully scale on top of that. Now, am I some pro at this? No, I'm learning as I go, and I'm hoping that this is just something that I'm thinking about dealing with, that it brings you some value as well. So, food for thought over. All I can say is find some ways to motivate yourself. Let me know what you do to motivate yourself. But for now, jump around into the timestamps, check out some of the other stuff on the video, some other runs or some other topics. Otherwise, I'll see you when I'm looking at you. Ciao. Good morning and welcome to run number 37 for the Marathon Training Plan 2020. And today is an endurance run. We're doing 8K at a 6:38 pace, somewhere there. I always forget this, but it's an interesting morning. It's very overcast, but it's not exactly really cold. So we're in the middle of winter. And one of the questions that I got from Rossa Runs was, you know, what are some of the conditions that I'm training in, and what's it like at the moment? So yes, here in Australia, Melbourne, we're in the middle of winter. And in the last video, there was a couple of days there where I was training in 3 degrees or 4 degrees, whereas this morning it's actually really overcast. It looks like it's about to rain, but it's about 9 degrees. So a bit of an odd weather situation. Now, by the time I actually get to doing the marathon, it will actually be at the end of spring. So usually we're around 26-30 degrees. So not really training in the like race day conditions, but what am I going to do? Anyway, so this morning, look, full transparency, feeling a bit tired and just a bit drained. But I've got to try and make sure that that does not get in the way of today's run. So today's run is all about endurance, taking it slow, and just, you know, getting the miles behind me, or kilometers, right? And you know, over the last couple of weeks, I've expressed to you that, you know, getting your focus, your intent, your mind in the right place is going to make a huge difference. And this is with whatever you're doing. I find my mind is in its best place when I'm running. Now, the difference here is because I'm going for a challenge, or I've got something in mind that I want to achieve with this run, sometimes it can put a little bit of pressure, but we're going to say it here. Today's run is just get out, get it done, take the time, do what I need to do, and get those 8 kilometers. Been loving all the feedback, all the community engagement, all the support, meeting lots of new people, just the ongoing conversation. It's really good. I think it's healthy for everyone. All right, let's get into it. Let's get it done. Gonna listen to some David Goggins. You feeling good? Get a smile on that dial. Let's get positive. Let's get out there. Let's get it done. All right, 3 and a bit K in, averaging 6:53, bit of a slow burn today, which is all right. That's all I'm feeling for. Just finished David Goggins, and he's Can't Hurt Me, and boy, it finishes strong. It's it really does challenge you, and it's a bit of a reality check, a reality call, and yeah, I've got a lot to just kind of digest and comprehend and really figure out, because there's definitely some things there which is yeah, it's challenged me big time. And we all have our battles, we all have our struggles, and some are crazy bad and Some are just crazy bad to you, but it's not about comparing, you know, how bad it is to everyone else. You know, we all have our limits, but it's about seeing how we can push those limits and become a better you and someone that can cope with more. So check the book out. All right, 8K done and dusted, and look, this run was, it wasn't even, okay, how do I say this? So, the start of this run, I said I was tired and I had to make sure I just focused on what the intent of this run was. That was the easy part. The run went for a breeze, and I wasn't physically tired, and I wasn't mentally drained either. It was all good. It was a good run, and I started off slow and built my way back up to the desired pace. What was interesting about this run, finishing David Goggins' book, having a bit of a reality check from that book, and then the rest of the run, which was a good 30 minutes, was chatting to myself. And look, you know, there's always the whole talk about, you know, people's highlight reels, and what you see is not what you get, and I am trying to make this as real and as authentic as possible, and, you know, not to make this a venting space or a ranting space, because, you know, there's probably some of that isn't appropriate, but you can never judge someone by what you see, because everyone is dealing with stuff, and I'm dealing with stuff at the moment, and I've voiced this before, and the running has helped me, you know, work through that. But this run was irrelevant to the other things that I'm dealing with, and, you know, the run was a nice way to take that time, that space to talk about those things to myself, and trying to figure out the next action, the next step. And there's a lot going on, guys. Just remember to look out for each other. Yeah, let's get on to the stats. There we go, 8K, averaging 6:33. So bought it home. I started off quite slow, and I'll get to that in a second, but I was able to get into a groove by probably, yeah, K4, K5, and really start to bring it back. Nice heart rate as well. If you want to see the splits, you can see right there. And then if we want to have a look at it from a visual perspective, you can see I've built my way up, and heart rate the same, kind of flowing with it. 9 degrees, not too bad. And I do apologize if I'm feeling flat today. I'm a bit I'm feeling flat, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't let certain things overwhelm, you know, my happiness, because I am happy when I'm doing my running, and, you know, so yes, I do apologize. Now, the thing I actually wanted to talk to you guys about, and it's probably more of a question, it's around, what do you find impacts your running for the better or the worse? Now, yes, last week, you know, my midweek run, it was a bit rough, and, you know, whether it was to do with that I was tired, I wasn't focused. One of my mates, Jason, Running Alive, he suggested that maybe it's not about those things either. Maybe it's just I've done a hard day's work. You know, the day before I had done the tempo session, and maybe I was just exhausted. So what I want to ask you is, you know, do you think that there's things in your life which, you know, is impacting your running for the better or worse? You know, sometimes I find when I am having a bad day, getting out and running, I end up, you know, doing a lot better. Whereas sometimes when I'm feeling flat today, like, it didn't really impact my running, but it did impact my mood. But because I had put the intention on the run already, it was kind of in the right mindset to get it done. And sometimes when we don't go in with the right mindset, we put our frustrations out. We might not be running in the right form. We're struggling to relax ourselves. We're tight, which it causes us to obviously not run at our best. But there's a lot of things which can enable us. Does this all make sense? Like, I think that the question clearly is, what do you think impacts you for the better or worse for running? Let me know. I'm sorry, I really am out of it today. Good morning and welcome to run number 38 for the Marathon Training Plan 2020, and today is a benchmark run. And yes, I'm wearing a mask because here in Melbourne, it is now mandatory to wear a mask when you're outdoors. Now, the good thing is when you're running, if it's uncomfortable, you don't have to actually have it covering your face when you're running. However, you do need to have it on you so when you stop running, that you are covering up. So I'll be bringing this with me. I probably won't use it while running just because, I want to be able to breathe as best as possible, but I will have this with me. The beauties of having a buff. All right, so today is a benchmark run. If you don't know what a benchmark run is, we are doing 7-minute warm up and then 3-minute go, 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 and then a 5-minute cool down. So it should be pretty good. We're aiming for my best out of the 3, so this is my 4th one, is 4:14. And I'm aiming to see if I can get that or beat that. I don't want to push too hard because I am feeling it a bit. I'm still pulled up a little sore. Not sore, I'm just feeling things. And I'm at the point where I want to be mindful that I'm not overdoing it because, almost halfway through the plan, and this is where things start to get interesting. I increase the loads and whatnot. Now, as you can see, it is currently raining. We're getting into the real stuff now. And these are the shoes I'm wearing today. So these are the fresh my newer pair, just to help get that extra bit of support and go the extra mile or the extra speed with the with the benchmark run. So feeling all right. As I mentioned yesterday, I was a bit flat, and as I was trying to be transparent with you all, is that I'm dealing with some things, and each day is a new day. So feeling positive today, and I will try to keep that positivity with you. So I do appreciate all the encouragement, all the support, and all the love. All right, let's get out and get this benchmark done, see what we can do. All right, see you out there. It's actually not too bad. Not too bad. Not long now, 45 seconds. It's time to pump it up. Gonna get the music ready. Here we go. Yeah, boy. Here we go. Let's go. And they're off. And they're racing. I'll see you on the flip side. Oh boy. I don't think I've topped it, but it's gonna be pretty close. Let's have a drink, cool it off, and I'll see you at the end. Whew. Whew. Not too bad. Let's go, go, go. Benchmark number 4 done and dusted, and I think it's going to be close. I reckon I was probably around 4:15, 4:17, just shy of getting it. And as I said at the start, I don't know if because I had a mentality that I didn't want to push because I wasn't feeling it today, if that's hindered me, or if it is because I just didn't have enough energy to push. So there's a physical element to that and the mental element to that. And this is what I say to you and this is what I mean. When it comes down to intention, what you start speaking, and this was around one of the books that I mentioned earlier, around the magic of thinking big. What you think and what you speak is what's going into your mentality of putting that over you, right? So if I'm saying, I don't think I'm gonna go into this and push really hard, that was I mean, I intentfully said it, right? I mean, you heard it. So does that mean that that has been what's hindered me? I don't know. But regardless, the other thing we need to realize, and Jason and I mentioned it in the other video, is sometimes our results aren't going to be better and better each week. Sometimes it's about a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, and things start to pop up, right? If we compare my first 3 benchmarks, remember it went, I think my first one was my best, second one wasn't too good, third one absolutely killed it. So it's possible, it is possible that I can't expect too much this week, and I'm feeling it a bit. Not pain or anything, just a bit of, you know, I know I've stepped it up, so definitely feeling it with the extra loads, and this week we'll be hitting the 20k mark, so yeah. All right, let's get into this. I'm excited to see, I really am, and we'll see what the result is. Now we're aiming for, and I'll put them all up on screen so you can see 1, 2 and 3 right now. We were aiming for 4:14. Let's have a look and see what we got. Look at that, 4:15. Super close, super close. Jeepers, that's okay. You know, now I'm kind of thinking back, you know, should have I pushed harder? And I think the answer, and the smart answer to this, is no. You know, I pushed to where my body felt it, and you know, I did mention around the mentality of it all and whatnot, but because I knew I was feeling some things, I didn't want to overdo it, because I've got a 20k coming up this week and I need to adjust to that. So I'm happy with this 4:15. So we're really starting to test it out, and I think that's one of the things in this training plan which was different to what I've done in the past. I'm doing a lot more speed stuff, and whether it's the sprints, tempos, whereas last time I was focused a lot more on the endurance, going the distance, getting the distance behind me. Now, obviously, if I'm going for a better time, speed or time management is going to be crucial. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. Let's get into today's topic, and I'm going to do a quick recap on some of the lessons learned from David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. And before I even get into it, if you have read it, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear your highlights and key takeaways. And if you haven't read it, jump down below. There's a link. You can jump over Audible. You can get a 14-day trial, I think. Or you can probably jump over to Amazon and pick it up as well. So highly do recommend it. The end is what did it for me. All right, so my 4 takeaways. And these are in no particular order. These are just different things that have resonated with me. I mean, there's so much to unpack from this book, and I probably need to read it or listen to it a couple more times. So number 1, identifying the sources of struggle is the first step to overcoming them. And I think this can't be more relevant. You know, we all have our different struggles, battles, challenges, whatever they are, mental, physical, emotional, and with any good way to overcome them, I mean, it's always said in everything, you know, you need to identify them, you need to understand them. In this particular view, you know, he wants to make sure you're not just accepting them and identifying that they're there, but identify what's causing them, what's the source, what's driving them, right? Because then you can start to take an action of addressing that source, or working around that source, or finding a way to get around it, or manage it, mitigate it, fix it, or absolutely clear it from your life, right? Number 2 is turn your weaknesses and discomforts into strengths. And this one's harder than it sounds, right? Because, you know, we all struggle with things, and not the things, you know, that you know, not with issues. Well, sorry, we all struggle with issues, but what I'm saying is we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. Now, naturally, we max out in our strengths, but sometimes, you know, you'll find in life our strengths won't be doing what we expect, whether it's an injury, something changes in life, and we get a setback. It's in those moments you want to be able to fall back on those weaknesses of yours and start to turn them into strengths, right? Maybe it's about reading or writing. You need to be better at that. Well, the only way to do better at it is to invest the time. And look, I don't have a really good example of this, but I think it's just crucial, is finding ways that you can get around your weaknesses. Now, a weakness for me has been reading. And when I say a weakness, I mean, I struggle to read books. Like when I'm reading a book, all I want to do is just fall asleep, doze off, I get distracted, and it hasn't worked for me. Whereas now that I'm using audiobooks, I'm learning, listening, and understanding from a different mentality. Therefore, I'm finally getting the information that I need to get. Whereas in the past, a weakness has been, I haven't been able to focus and pay attention to it. Whereas now I can. So I've been able to adapt and use a bit of agility to find a better way to do this. This is just a small example, but I think it's relevant for everyone, and we all need to assess this on our own accord and understand what it means for you. But yeah, turn weaknesses into strengths. Number 3, visualize it. You need to be able to answer the question, why am I doing this, in advance before doubt sets in. And this comes down to intent, right? Understanding why you're doing something, because as you go through it, when you have the struggles, when you have the setbacks, if you don't know why you're doing it, it's going to be harder to push through. And this is with work, this is with life, this is with anything that you're doing, whether it's a run as well. Understanding why you're doing the run, and you'll be able to push through it. If you're out here thinking, why am I doing this? What's the point of this? What's the purpose? So the doubt will seep in, and that's when it overwhelms you, and it's easy to say, I give up. And the 4th one is remove the governor. When you are doing exercise, mental or physical, and you get to the point where your mind is begging for you to stop, push just 5-10% further. Gradually ramping this overload will allow your body and mind to adapt to new levels. And when I first started running, this was key, because I used to try and run, and I'd get to probably, when I was trying to do my first 5K without stopping, I'd get to about 4K and things started to just, I could feel things. I was struggling, it was getting harder, but if I just pushed a little further, in small bites, I was able to then accomplish it. And then sometimes it disappears. And anyone that does long running, distance running, you'll know that, this is literally your run, right? You're going to go for highs and lows, and it's about working through, pushing through those lows that will enable you to get back to the highs. And then sometimes the rest of the run can be neat, or you're going to have to do it again. So that's the 4 takeaways from David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. Highly recommend it. Check it out. And yeah, it's good stuff. All right, thanks for watching today. Jump down into the timestamps, have a look around. I've got a bunch of different things. Really appreciate all the support. If you've got a question, put a question down there. If you've got a comment about something, put a comment down there. Put something in there, let me know, and I'll see you when I'm looking at you. Ciao. Good morning and welcome to run number 39 for the Marathon Training Plan 2020, and today is an endurance run. We're doing 7K at a 6:39 pace, somewhere there, and it's quite fresh. It's 4 degrees at the moment, but it's going to be a beautiful day by the looks of it. Bit of blue sky, still out, got to wear the masks, the usual fluff, but won't be doing it while I'm running. I just got to make sure I have it for before and after. No one's around me at the moment, so I'm getting away with it. All right, couple of things. It's the weekend, very excited. Really excited to get this run done and dusted, because one, it's been a long week, and this is the runs I enjoy to do, is being able to just kind of calm myself down, relax, breathe, and just catch up with myself, and don't have to worry about rushing back or anything like that. So that's key. These are the shoes I'm wearing today. Using my trail running shoes. That is because I will be going out on some of the mud today. Yeah. Now, one thing that I mentioned at the start of this video was talking about hydration and nutrition and fueling for races now, or runs in general. So I don't really have much to get into this week, but over the coming weeks I'm going to start to experiment a bit. So I wanted to ask of you, one, if you're doing a longer distance, let's say it's more than 15K, what kind of hydration are you doing the day before? And also, what kind of nutrition are you doing the day before? On the day of the longer than 15 kilometers run, what are you doing for hydration on the morning and nutrition on the morning or before the run? And then thirdly is in the actual run itself, what are you doing for nutrition, for hydration while running? Now, I'm going to start to get into this over the coming weeks. Figured, why not ask you guys, get a bit of thought and input from you. Might actually be trialing something for my longer run tomorrow, but we'll get to that tomorrow. And yeah, that's kind of the question I had for you guys. have a think, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be curious to have a bit more of a discussion on it. All right, let's get into it. You ready? You ready? I am. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. There we go, 7k done and dusted. Epic run, beautiful run. To be honest, didn't really have much to think about the run. Kind of went like a blur, so it went really quick. Didn't have anything to kind of think about, meaning, you know, I wasn't feeling anything. I didn't have any mental battles. It was actually, to be honest, it's a bit of a blur. It's these are the type of runs, and I mentioned it last week as well, when you get into a trance and you're able to kind of just cruise on a groove. Tomorrow will be interesting, doing the 20k, and I'll probably be doing 4 loops of 5k maybe. That is when it was going to get interesting. Now, I'm sure many of you have probably seen the whole current crisis at the moment, which is Garmin is down. I have recorded it on my Garmin and it's on my watch, but what I'll need to do is I actually recorded it on my phone as well. Usually I'm syncing the Garmin to the phone, whereas what I've done is I've actually kicked it off on the Nike app on the phone as well. So it means I've got it tracked. It's a little inaccurate, but means I've got all the details for the plan. I'm going to show you what it says on the Garmin just so you know that I've done the run. So I've done a little bit further than 7k, 6:35 pace. Not too bad. Now we'll jump onto the Nike. So this is saying I only did 7k and 6:47 pace. I'm going to go with the Garmin still, but we will use this for today's purposes. Not too bad. Look at this time in zone. It was a very easy run. Beautiful stuff. And making sure that it's all there, because you know what they say, if it's not on Strava, it didn't happen. All right, the next thing I wanted to kind of just give you guys a bit of an insight to was some of the stats around my channel at the moment. And I've been having a lot of questions around, because I've been doing these longer videos, you know, what difference has it been making? Now, to be honest, it's still a little early to really tell, but what I have noticed is, you know, engagement is up with you guys, the community, collaboration, communication, comments, likes, and whatnot. Also, the view time and watch time is up. Now, that makes sense because the video is, you know, they're being between 30 to 50 minutes long. But I think the key thing here is the timestamps. The timestamps enables you, or anyone coming to my channel that's new, for instance, to jump on over and to basically have a buffet of content to choose from, or a choose your own adventure kind of style. Pick and choose what you want to watch, when you want to watch it. And you know, I can't expect everyone to jump around and watch everything, but I do expect that people can come in and find what they want to find. I've put 3 pictures up here, and I'm going from my phone, so you'll just have to ignore me. The first one that you'll see is over the last 365 days. And this is a little old, this picture. It's probably 5 days old, maybe 4 days old. If we have a look at it, it's basically saying that my channel got 22,256 views within 365 days. You know, average watch time, jeepers, shush. Total watch time has been around 957 hours. I've gained 131 subs. Right? And then if you jump it down to 90 days, right? You know, views are about 5.8 thousand and watch time is 286 hours. subs are 102, which is quite interesting because I've got the majority of what I've got in a year in the last 90 days. And then looking at the last 28 days, which is basically when I started to do this series, about a month and a bit ago. I mean, I'm on this is week 8, so it's a bit more than 28 days. It's probably closer to the 40 days, but this gives you an indication that I've done 1.8 thousand views, or 1,800 views, and watch time is 111 hours. So actually, I've had half of what I've had in 90 days that I have in 28 days. So which is pretty good. And I've had 47 subs of the 131 that I've had in the entire year. My average video length before doing my marathon series was between 7 and 10 minutes. Right now I'm doing between 30 and 50 minutes. So some of the key points have been, watch time is smashing it in the last 28 days, right? So I'm basically doing roughly 4 hours per day compared to the 2.6 hours per day across 365 days. Views have been pretty similar across each period. 28 days I've been averaging 64 views a day, 90 days is also 64 views a day, and 365 days I've only been doing about 61 views per day. So not much has changed too much. And then sub-wise, over a year I've averaged 3 a day, over 90 days it was 1, and over 28 days it's 1.7 subs a day. What I've learnt is, and this is something that I've been dealing with in everything in my life, is doing with intent and understanding what you're trying to focus on. Whether it's been in the running, and it's been clearly a lot better having the intention and mindset in the right place, and even in my everyday life and with my work and stuff. But with the channel, I think once I've changed the perspective of, why am I doing this, and this series that I've been doing has been where I found I am being the most myself. I can share authentically, share with you guys everything that I'm feeling, and I'm giving you the whole picture, right? There's certain things in here which, if you'd asked me to put in a video maybe a year ago or even 6 months ago, no way. And I think that's the difference here, is because I'm doing something which is intentional, it is authentic, and it has my mindset in the right place for it. And that's you, right? I want to share with you my journey of marathon training, but also all these other elements and attributes and things of my life which I think makes a difference for you, right? Because I'm a nobody, right? I'm just another person trying to find his way, and I've got things to share. And if you guys want to take that as value, then I love it, I appreciate it. And you guys are leaving the comments and leaving your thoughts, and I know you appreciate it. And that's what it's all about. If I can have you guys jumping in here and enjoying yourselves, learning something, and looking forward to watching the next episode, that's all I can ask for, right? So once again, I really do appreciate it. Jump around in the timestamps, see what you like, click through, have a look. Otherwise, I'll see you when I'm looking at you. Good morning and welcome to run number 40 for the Marathon Training Plan 2020. And today we're doing a long run. That's right, we're doing 20K at a pace of 6:48, somewhere there. And this should be pretty interesting. Starting to really get up there now. As I keep saying, each week is going to be that little bit more, which is expected. But I'm excited to get to the 21K as well, just to be able to get to that half marathon distance. It's weather's a bit interesting. It's probably about 7 degrees. It's not too bad, but it's overcast, there's no sun, so we'll see how we go out on the run. These are the shoes I'm wearing today, just my original normal pair. Should be good for a good beating. Don't really have much to say, to be honest. Feeling all right about this. I'm not super nervous. It's 20K. I just got to get out, get it done. And to be honest, it's kind of just all hitting me now. I've got a few different things. I've got my 2 waters here, but I've also got a bottle of Tailwind and a bottle of extra bottle of water sitting at my driveway. Just as I do some loops, I'll be able to take a few swigs and take what I need and continue on. So what I'll be aiming to do is 4 loops of 5K to get that 20K. Once again, Garmin is still down. We'll be tracking it on the Garmin, but what I'll probably do is I'm gonna have to do it on the Nike as well, which I just realized. The Nike's being a bit annoying, to be honest, because I started syncing with the Garmin. It's some of the runs in the past it's become confused, and it thinks that I haven't added them to a plan. But the thing is, you can't add them to the past in the plan. You have to add them to the current week in the plan, and then it will think that I've done 20 runs in 1 week, which doesn't make sense. So I don't think it's working properly, to be honest. I mean, it hasn't really changed. Anyway, a bit more on that at the end. Feeling good, a little cold. Things are, we'll see, we'll see. All right, 1 loop done, 5k in, averaging around 43 pace, so not too bad. That's including all the stops and whatnot. Feet are feeling a bit heavy, so I've just loosened them off, and we'll see how we go. Let's go. All right, 6.5k in. A few things are messing with me. Feet are heavy and sore. Not sure why. Reality check time. Whew. It's all a bit weird. Things are, I don't know, this is one of those odd runs. And we've had this discussion numerous times. You're never going to have a perfect run each time. It is what it is. Just need to get my focus back in the zone of it's a long run. Do what you can do, make the most of it, and the idea is to experience the suck. And to be honest, what's interesting is I said exactly the same words last week. I've done this so many times. Nothing's changed. The only difference is my body's getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. All right, halfway, baby. Feet are a lot better after changing the tightness on the shoes, so I think that's helped a lot. 10k to go. We got this. We got this. Right, up to the final loop, and we're going to do it reverse, and we're going to make it a hot lap. All right, boy oh boy, what a run. Roller coaster of emotions or feelings, and push and push and push. And we haven't done 20k. We've done 21.1. We've done a half marathon. Wasn't planned, but a couple of reasons why is, one, the loops are a little longer than 5k. So they average out a bit further. So I think 5.3, 5.4. The other reason is my Nike, because I'm recording on my Nike app on my phone, because the Garmin is down, it is usually about 500 to 700 meters behind distance in terms of accuracy. So I've had to go the extra distance, an extra, well, yeah, whatever, to get it. Now, naturally, then in order to get home, I was still about 500 meters out. So of when my Nike hit 20k, when my Garmin was probably at 20.5. So naturally I ran home and got a half marathon. I wasn't going to stop at 21. I needed to get the 21.1. To tell you, this run, it was a beast. Reason why is the first loop was suck. It was horrible. And second loop got a bit better. Third loop, and then this fourth loop I was pushing a bit harder, so it was expected to be a bit hard, but third loop definitely better. This run, basically really does reflect and remind you of the running journey. You know, you're going to start off and things aren't as planned. You get going, you'll get some good surprises, you'll get some good highlights, and you'll get some good results. And then in order to get where you want to go, you got to push, you got to put in the hard work. And that's what this run is. Now the stats will look a little funny just because, one, at the time of looking at this, Garmin is not back up, and I can't sync my Garmin directly to Strava until I log into my computer and do the whole thing manually. So we are going to look at the watch, and we're going to look at the Nike. So let's get into that. 21.1, 6:30 pace. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so we're saying 6:42, which is still pretty good actually. So let's jump into the splits. So here we started off slow, but gradually, look, as we get to halfway, 8.2, this is when things start to pick up, and then gradually continue to pick up all the way to the end there. Jeepers. Let's get into a couple of video recommendations, and then we will get into the Q&A last. And yeah, a video from Sean Tucker. Now he basically he's a photographer, and he's got a YouTube channel, and his video is called Straight Talk for people thinking of starting a channel. Now the beauty of this video is it's the guys just sitting down having a real raw chat with you, and it goes on to basically talk about 1,000 true fans, and I'll share that link as well in the description about an article. And the premise of the whole video is, and I'm going to read it out to you, to be a successful creator, you don't need millions. You don't need millions of dollars or millions of customers, millions of clients or millions of fans to make a living as a craftsperson, photographer, musician, designer, author, animator, app maker, entrepreneur, or inventor. You need only 1,000 true fans. And a true fan is defined as a fan who will buy anything you produce. And it goes on to explain a bit more in detail what that is. And this has been a bit of a area where I'm trying to really focus my channel on, is building a community, building people like you that are watching this right now that want to come here and come along for the journey, regardless of the content. Whether I'm doing running content, whether I'm talking about a book, whether I'm sharing drone footage, or whether I'm doing this kind of stuff. And who knows what it might be in the future. But that's my intent, that's my journey, to bring 1,000 true fans. They want to come along with you, they believe in what you're doing, and they want to be a loyal supporter of what you're giving them. So that's the first thing to check out. The second video is what to do when life knocks you down. All right, let's get into 2 channel shout outs. First one, which is the Husky runner. The Husky runner, and his name is Steve, or Steven, and he's been a long time YouTuber, and you know, he's gone through a few different cycles of what he wants to produce and how he wants to produce it. But he's a fellow runner. He's over in the US, and the thing I like about Steve is he's got such passion and potential in whatever he does. Now, you know, he might not have been able to be on YouTube as long as he intended to the first time round, but he's coming back. He's just dropped a new trailer. Go check it out. He's just recovering from an injury at the moment, and he wants to get back into content creation. Now, I'm a true believer. I'm a fan of him and everything that he does. And, you know, it might not be for everyone, but I'm recommending his channel. Go over there, check it out, give him some love. And he's an amazing photographer. He's got very good creative skills, and yeah. I'm excited to see his channel grow again. So, first one, the Husky runner. Now, the second one is Inner Core Ari. Now, she is doing some amazing content, and the thing I love about her channel is it's raw, authentic, and it's real. And I don't know how to really describe her channel, but really she's just giving short stories or sharing short areas of life or perspectives on life of things that we don't really, I think we probably take them for granted, or we don't dive into them, or sometimes we hear them in such a cliche and oversaturated way that we kind of don't click, don't get it. She is putting together some really great ways of presenting this information, and one of them is around, I've got it here somewhere, yeah, around compounding and the importance and power and the ability of compounding, and not just with money, but in everything that you're doing in life. So go jump over to her channel. She's got some really cool stuff there. It's resonated with me, so I'm expecting and hoping there's something there for you too as well. Some Q&A, and all right, so question from Jordan F. What do you use to film while running? Just a normal selfie stick. It looks so smooth. So you probably can't see it, and I'll have to take a picture and you can have a look yourself. I'm using the GoPro selfie stick, and I'm filming on a GoPro Hero 7, which has stabilization inbuilt digital. So that's why it makes it so smooth like this, right? As you can see, selfie stick just fell down just because I hadn't twisted it and made it tight, but you get the point. So check it out, and it has a little tripod as well. I'll show it, and I'll put a link in the description so you can check it out. All right, next question is by Running with AJ and Max. It's a random question. Are you spitting on your heart rate monitor strap before the run? Now this is in regards to last week when my heart rate was a little weird in that really cold run, and no, I haven't done it and I haven't tried it. What I need to do is kind of put like my average heart rate for a week of similar activities before I do the spitting, and then it will be good to see what happens after I do the spitting before every run. Yeah, what my average heart rate is for the week. So it's an interesting one, man. I'm gonna have to try it out. Next one is from Rossa Runs, my main man. So he said, does the Nike app suggest a certain warm-up or stretching to match the run of the day? No, it does not. So the Nike app, I'm really learning and understanding that it doesn't have everything that everyone would want. It does have options to do stretching and things like that, and you can pick and select those things, and you can add them to your training plan. However, it doesn't by default put them in there for you. So the short answer is no. All right, that's all the questions. At the start of this week, I've been dealing with a lot, as I keep mentioning, and Mozzie, and I was a bit flat, and the key thing here was trying to make sure that that wasn't coming into my running. And look, it's been a bit of a, to be honest, this week has probably been one of the weeks where maybe I haven't had as much energy or motivation or boost to get things done, not just in running, but in general. And that plays a part, right? And one of the questions I asked you at the start of the week was, what do you think impacts your running for better or worse, right? Now for me, it's definitely a mentality. It's where your focus is, it's where your head's at, it's how you're doing. But at the same time, sometimes it just comes down to attitude, and when things aren't going well, you need to just kind of amp it up. You need to step it up, move forward, look past it, and press through. Not saying don't deal with it, but try and make the most of the thing that you're doing at that point in time, if the other thing has nothing to do with it, right? So yeah, it was really nice to get out Saturday, Sunday with no distractions. It was really, really good. So I think the week has been really good. I mean, I've just done a half marathon, right? All in all, I think I've done very, very well this week. I'm expecting over the coming weeks things will start to, hopefully, well, one, they're going to start to challenge me big time, but two, I'm going to start to see some new unexpected results, and this is where things are going to start to get interesting, and making sure that I'm managing my strength big time. All right, let's have a look at what's coming up for next week. So week 9, we're kicking off with a tempo run. Oh yeah, 9k. That's an uplift, and then an endurance of 9k. We've got a speed session, looks pretty good, and long run, 22.5 kilometers. Look at that. And then endurance of 8. This is epic stuff. Epic stuff. Here comes the challenge. My challenge at the moment is getting this new goal, this new time on the marathon, and it's about to get real. All right, thanks for watching. Really do appreciate all the comments and all the support, and I'm loving it. Really am loving it, and I'm hoping that I can continue to give you guys content. If you've got questions, if you've got things you want to see, let me know. One thing I want to reiterate is, if you want to, give me a challenge around, you've got a passion, you've got a hobby, you've got a talent, and you want to understand how can you make this into something that's a bit more. How could you start a YouTube channel? How could you make it a side hustle? Hit me up. I'm really keen to really be held accountable to this challenge, and help give some people some advice, some thoughts, some opinions, and yeah, share the love. All right, that's it from me. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do the whole shebang, and hustle.